man, why was I even doing all that? Like the whole cold approaching, dating apps, and all that. I felt like, man, did I just waste all my time doing all that?
Hey everyone, I'm Alex, and I help shy, introverted nerds get over their fears and anxieties to find their prayer too. Today, I bring you Mrinal, a past client of mine, to share his experience so that he can serve as inspiration for anyone who's single and feeling hopeless. Mrinal, thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me.
So, just to get started, what makes you a nerd?
Well, there's one Bleach poster that I have right behind me. Uh, Other than that, I like science. I do science, and yeah, I watch way too much anime, and to the point where I'm like learning Japanese right now, which you know, I can watch it without subtitles now. Yeah. What else? Play video games, all the nerd stuff, except yeah, I guess I don't have a lot of stuff that I had like that I own that tells me that I'm a nerd. That people would assume that I'm a nerd, but I am.
To me, like when people start learning Japanese to watch anime without subs, I'm like, that's next level. So, what do you remember about before we started working together? Like, what was your life like? What were you thinking?
Yes, I I felt somewhat disconnected with who I was. If I had to say, I was, I guess, more secluded to myself. I was more just focusing on the work that I do, and I went home and just turned on the TV or just go to the gym, work out by myself. It just became kind of this like redundant routine, and I wanted to, be more fulfilled with my dating life, and I tried all sorts of things. The apps and cold approaching or whatnot, which was very scary to do. But I did it. And even though I can pat myself on the back for stepping out of my comfort zone multiple times, I never felt like I always felt uncomfortable doing that, following those kinds of advice, I guess. And, um, you know, I guess I just got a little, what's the word? Maybe sick of it. Sick of just being, oh, yeah, I'm brave, but it never really felt comfortable. And I don't know, maybe you're not supposed to feel like, I guess learning new things, it's always going to be uncomfortable, but this just felt, I felt like I was not being myself in a way. And that's when I saw like your post or your comment on Discord, and I thought this looks interesting. Um, I'm a nerd, right? Uh, Even though there was a little span of time where I felt just a little ashamed of being a nerd, I guess. I still thought, I'm basically a nerd and I'll just try this out. And, I guess what first caught my attention was it was different than the usual advice. And so I thought, I've tried so many things. Uh, why not? Why not? Let's try this one out too. So, yeah.
Yeah, so like you had tried things that you did them, you were super brave, it was out of your comfort zone, but it just didn't feel right, you said. Like not being authentic.
Didn't feel right. Didn't work out. A combination of those things for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you
Unauthentic.
feel
Yeah.
did you see like there was any other options? Like you were trying apps, you were trying cold approaches, but you were basically still alone, right? Did you
Yeah.
think there was any other option?
I joined. I'm still doing improv. I tried to join different things, but I don't know. I guess I felt like there weren't any, like, I don't know where I was going wrong, if that makes sense. Like, if at that time it felt like I was doing everything wrong. And so even though I was in some social circles, I always felt like I wasn't achieving my goal. I'm
Yeah.
saying all these things, but I've like, right now I don't think that way. So it's a little weird trying to think
Yeah.
back to the
And
past.
we're going to talk about like
Yeah.
the transition, right?
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it's part of what we worked on. You mentioned like being ashamed of being a nerd. Can you tell me more about that?
Yeah. I never noticed it. It was, but I think when you first mentioned that, I think during one of our sessions, I was like, huh, I do try to like hide that part of me, and maybe I feel some sort of shame. And I can't really point to when it started,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, it wasn't like I wasn't like putting myself down or just avoiding doing nerdy things. It was just whenever I met new people, I just never uh, discussed that I was a nerd. Never told them until like I was sure or felt safe to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Until you knew that it wouldn't be an issue with other people.
I guess so.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember like you being worried about being mistaken for an incel. That was
Yeah.
one of the first conversations.
Incel, uh, sometimes I take on the burdens of being a man, like what I guess what other men do. I felt like, oh, people are gonna just view me like everybody else, or women would just view me as, just being someone to afraid of, or I was a little too much online, I guess, and didn't go outside as much to actually talk to people. I was afraid of being painted with like a broad brush by other people. Yeah.
As like a toxic masculinity type of man.
Yeah.
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 Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like for what I remember, that was a big part of not wanting to be like, or like being ashamed of being a nerd when we first started.
Yeah. I guess. Yeah.
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 So basically, so we got in touch on Discord. I think you downloaded my guide, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So like the guide basically walks you through every step. What made you still like want to work together, even though you had the guide?
I guess I just felt really anxious. I was afraid of, uh, like failing at it, I guess. Failing to follow through. Or, I don't know, I guess I really needed to talk to someone about, like, what was going through inside of me, I guess. And, I just took it, I just took the chance, I guess. And it's, yeah, I guess a combination of anxiety. I didn't feel like I would stick to the guide as well as I can, doing it consistently. And, yeah, it kept me on, um, it kept me in check, I guess, a bit
Yeah.
more, trying to talk this with someone else.
Yeah. So it's like I'm guessing you were like going on YouTube before, and that's where you found out about like doing cold approaches, and you were like, well, I was following what they said on YouTube or Reddit or whatever, and it wasn't working. And now you have the guide, which it's not YouTube, but it's, like it's still something that's not talking with the person. So maybe being with someone, you got someone to talk to, because like you said, like you were quite isolated. And also accountability is what I'm hearing. And I imagine that also, like, you had the guide, but like having a person there could sort of answer your questions or point out different things you could try or mistakes, if there was something like that.
Yeah.
So what were you expecting when we started working together? Like, what did you think was going to happen?
I was definitely expecting something different, I guess, from usual dating, like guides or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I was a little skeptical at first. I mean, you're not gonna like you come here and just make me find a girlfriend, So I think I was definitely desperate enough to think that way, for sure. But I mean, I'm not like, I'm also grounded in reality. So I just kept my expectations at a, minimal level. I figured there's probably the way I talk or the way I present myself, there's something that I'm doing that I can't observe because, I can't look at myself with a third person. So I was hoping that you could help me out with that. And I'd say that it went pretty well.
So, I mean, like the way you're describing it, it sounds like you were looking for someone to like tell you like, oh, like talk this way or act this way and that kind of stuff. That's not much of the work that we did.
No, yeah. I guess that's what I sort of expected, but no, we did not do that. Yeah.
Yeah. What did you find?
I think it felt nice to, because I didn't have to like change the way I present myself to other people much. And, there was definitely a sense of accepting myself more. That feeling of accepting myself, I definitely felt that, which was a
So
nice
no
change of
longer
pace.
ashamed of being a nerd.
I'd say I was like about 25% ashamed, and that has definitely gone down. I don't know, it was like if somebody like made fun of me for being a nerd, I would get, like, no way. But it was more subtle. The shame was a bit more, less noticeable. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So like in the end, you basically didn't change who you were. You accepted it.
Yeah.
And what happened when you accepted it?
Well, the first thing I felt was like a weight off my shoulders, for sure. And, I put a lot of pressure on myself to meet these goals or whatnot when it comes to dating. And now I feel more relaxed about it, or more, it's not as strict anymore. So that way I could be free to do other things that I like, even by myself. And, it wasn't like robbing away my enjoyment from other aspects of my life.
Yeah. So before it was kind of like the center.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas now it's one more thing that you're doing while you do stuff that you enjoy with people.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you don't have to want it, but like, at least, I mean, like, since the last time that we spoke, it didn't sound like it was sort of like making your decisions for you, like you were not desperate.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, I noticed it. Even I did download like an app, dating app now, because I was really hoping that I would be more, I would be the one in control than let just be like a dopamine victim to these apps. And it's a challenge, but I've been managing myself better. I feel like because they really gamify these things. I gotta say,
Yes.
yeah.
What did you notice that changed?
I'm catching myself more before I like my thoughts. Like every time I open the app when I'm just feeling bored or the hopes of refreshing it, first I'm like, oh yeah, I'm like really bored right now. I should probably
Do something
and
else.
it yeah, I should probably do something else. Maybe try reading a book. I'm like halfway through a book.
Right.
That's one of my like maybe read one book this year.
Good.
Yeah.
That's a good start.
Mhm.
How did you feel from like being so isolated and like just doing like work, gym, home to like the first time that you went out to socialize? How did that go?
I took it slow. I I said I was doing improv for a while, so I the first time I socialized was I did it with through them, and we have like a WhatsApp group for that. I decided to actually check it and see what they're posting about, and decided to just participate, just send my first message in a group chat.
Mm-hmm.
Not, it was definitely very daunting. I was like, oh no, they're gonna ignore my message. They're not gonna respond to me. But there's like so many people in there, so at least one person would. Anyway, yeah, I was lucky that somewhere along the way, I was able to find this group, and through that, I was able to go to different activities, social activities, like even just outside of improv. And from there, I, I was doing dancing, contra dancing, which is just a type of dancing that's really popular here in the New England region of the US. And I saw these group of people that seemed to have come together, and I guess maybe my cold approaching past helped, I guess, just a little bit for me to just, at the very least, walk up to a guy, one of the guys, and say like, just say like, hey, do you guys come here often, or what do you do? And he was very nice. We talked, and he added me to his group chat, and so from there I got this one other thing to do, which I was going to regularly, which was a lot of fun. And that gave me the confidence to actually look things up just online, um, because I just kind of brushed it off, saying I live in a very remote location. I was like, "There's no way there's going to be people doing things around here," but I was like, maybe, just maybe. Um, and I came across board game nights, and there's like a place in just a few minutes away from where I live where they meet every week for board games, D&D. And I think there was a part of me that knew this was happening. I just never thought of myself as someone who would go there, which is maybe because I felt ashamed of the nerd thing, being a nerd, or I was afraid of not being nerdy enough
Oh.
to go there. Because, like, I mean, I do D&D. I play. Have like 500 hours on Baldur's Gate, but it's not. It's still a lot. Uh, right? In these communities, I always felt like I gotta prove myself. But it wasn't the case at all. They were very good people, nice people that were accepting. Because, well, real life is not a subreddit, so.
Real life is not a subreddit. I really want to hear more about that. That's a beautiful quote. What do you mean by that?
I mean, yeah, just all over the internet. All you see is just like people with the loudest and the most divisive of things to say. In online spaces, everybody just like walls themselves off because I don't know, they're just trying to get themselves attention or trying to get outraged or getting paid or something. I don't know. It's just a whole cycle. And I guess I also started believing that's how people outside are too as well. Maybe I subconsciously started judging people that way. And that plus throughout my life, I've just been trying to like, always trying to prove myself that I'm good enough to do this sport or walk into take this course or just even dating. But I was able to overcome all that and just talk to people. I told myself, I've cold approached women and done that. This can't be worse than that. So I guess it did become helpful for me, in a way. Not that I would recommend people doing that unless, I don't know. Yeah, now that I talk about this, I think even a couple of days ago, I was like, man, why was I even doing all that? Like the whole dating before cold approaching, dating apps and all that. I felt like, man, did I just waste all my time doing all that? Now that I'm like explaining my story here, I guess, like maybe it did help in a way, or it did do things, it did do something, and I could use
it. Got you here.
Yeah.
At the very least.
Yeah. I don't want to say like you have to do all of these things. It came out of a place of desperation and I never really felt uncomfortable. You don't have to like, just talking to a fellow nerd I shouldn't say hard, but like isn't the end of the world. They're very nice. Most of us are nice people, I guess.
And that's what you found in real life that was not Reddit or social media.
Yeah.
Like both nerds and non-nerds. I have many things that you, like quotes from you that stuck with me. And again, if you want me, I'll cut them out. One was, I think, like after you were contra dancing, when you came back, you said, "The world is so big." Yeah. I just loved it.
Yeah. It's like whenever you're just focused on one thing, like, oh, I've never been on a date, I've never had a girlfriend, what am I going to do? And I'm also very stubborn. When I want something, I really want it. And so my vision just becomes really narrow. That's what I meant by, well, the world is so big, because I just, at that moment, I felt I was able to widen my, I guess, my view, my vision. And,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you were spending all your time basically online. Like that was your world.
Yeah.
And then you went outside and you saw people who socialized. And like, I know we've been talking about like all the things you gained outside of dating, right? Like, so like not focusing on dating and stuff. But the reason you came to me was for dating.
Yeah.
So how did all of this stuff that we're talking about impact your dating life?
I was able to go on a pseudo date, I guess, if you'd say. Because through the dancing, I was able to meet a lot of people, and I met someone. We were dancing first, and then I built up some courage, which was helped out by my contra dancing friends who helped me out to ask her out. But she said she wasn't looking for anything dating wise and only wanted to be friends. And I was like, that's perfect. That's fine by me. And we exchanged numbers, and we hung out a lot of times. And each time we hung out, maybe it's because I made so much progress, or maybe I just didn't have the weight of being on a date with me. I just felt like I was just myself. I didn't feel this like cringe feeling whenever I said something. Like, my sense of humor wasn't like stifled during our interactions. And it felt freeing whilst I was just hanging out with her. Uh, Things didn't work out eventually, but that was, it was just a lot of things. Yeah, I could say that wasn't. Now that I think about it, it wasn't really me. It was mostly her. Uh, but yeah, a brief time together, I guess, and I never felt like I was like censoring myself, or like I was locked up in a cage. I didn't have any of those kinds of feelings.
Yeah. When you said like feeling cringe, I was like, that really hits. Like going on a date and feeling cringe. That's awful. And not feeling that. Like that's a completely different, I don't want to say ball game, but like I can imagine like how it must have like changed things for you, right? And I really want to highlight as well how like your friends pushed you to get the number.
Yeah.
Right. Those were friends that you had met dancing, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
So new friends.
New friends too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would have never done it if they didn't like let me know that I was vibing with this girl. Cause, yeah, I would have just, walked away that night, having just said, that was a lot of fun doing salsa dancing. And then, but yeah, they told me to do it. I did it, and I don't really have a lot of regrets from that, because I was able to learn so much about myself. Or I was able to see how far I've come. So
Yeah.
I'm grateful for that.
And for the record, this is the first time you dance salsa, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So it's not like you were the best dancer or the alpha dancer or like anything like that.
Oh yeah. She's really good. All her like salsa dance, like she was part of the organizing. They were really good. all these dudes were just walking up to her, dancing with her. They were really good
Yep.
too. But I was like, oh, what's the worst that could happen if I just ask her out?
Yeah. And nothing bad happened. You went on a date, you had
Oh,
fun, you had a good time.
yeah. And it's always good to also remind yourself that at these times when you feel inadequate, that, you know, I've done, there's a lot of other things that I can do that they can't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I mean, dancing is not the only thing that there is, right?
No.
So, yeah, absolutely. Um, so where are you at now? Like, so like we finished working together. Um, like, where's your social life? How are you feeling about dating?
I've, from my social circles, you get invited to parties, right? If you join, if you know people, they invite you to stuff. Uh, and, I've gotten invited to like 4 Halloween parties. One's tomorrow. There's 2 on the 31st and 1 on November, the day after. So I'm like, yeah, I'm like, that's a lot for a guy with very limited social battery, but I'll push through. I'll see how it goes. Maybe have fun.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always open to having fun. Uh, yeah, it's just now I don't know. I just get invited to so many things once you just get the ball rolling.
I like
That's
how you mentioned the social battery. Because and you've seen it, I think, this on my Discord, that like some people are like, oh, like I don't want to go out too much because my social battery. How do you think that worked for you?
uh, maybe it's not the best advice that I could give, but sometimes you just gotta push through.
Like,
But
you
yeah,
were
but
going out a
then
lot while we were working.
I know I've noticed that it's only painful when you're in the house and get out of the house and driving. It's just that part. And then, but once you get there, it's, it feels a lot more relaxing. It's a lot more relaxed because then you're with friends and, things, you can feel more energetic because you're surrounded by people that you know. It's definitely hard at first if when you don't know anybody, but obviously. Um, so I guess when people say social battery, I know what they mean, but I guess it's just gotta figure out ways to manage the uh, parts that you don't like, such
The
as
initial part in your case.
getting ready, driving, finding parking, all that stuff. But then once you're there, it's all good for me personally.
Had you tried that before we started working together? Because like you were going to improv, but you didn't really participate in improv. But like, did you go to any other like social events?
Uh no, not really. I don't think so. I couldn't. I just thought I shouldn't say I couldn't. I just didn't want to because I put this like invisible barrier in front of me. Um, that just says, oh, this, even if I do this, it probably wouldn't result in me getting a girlfriend, right? And I was like, it's very, goal or I shouldn't say this, but reward oriented.
Yeah. Oh, that's fine. Yeah.
uh, I mean, not to objectify people, but I guess I was doing it anyway. Uh, so I was like, why should I even bother? Like, what's, I guess, yeah, I was like, all I need to do is just get a girlfriend somehow, and things will just work out afterwards. That's how it was, yeah, for sure.
So get a girlfriend, question mark, success.
Yeah.
How do you see it now?
How do I see it now? Well, for one, I feel very grateful that I found so many social circles to interact with, and I should say this, I'm not like exactly a social butterfly in these circles. I'm not like talking to everybody and just making connections. I'm just a lot of times, I'm just in the corner, just by myself, and you know, they come up and they talk to me, and sometimes I go there and talk to them. We make jokes, and sometimes I just go sit by myself, and you know, I'm just that's the kind of person I am, and it's okay, right?
And you're still getting invited to stuff,
Yeah,
right? And your friends are pushing you to do stuff that you're afraid of,
yeah, yeah,
even as you behave in the way that you are.
yeah, yeah. Now I feel more confident in knowing that there's a lot more things you can do in life,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a lot more fun to think that way. So I'm like actively choosing to think that way. If that makes sense.
And how does that affect your dating?
I would imagine it's good because that's how I felt with this one person, and hopefully, if I or maybe I should be confident and say when I get dates, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's part of I'll be more myself, and I feel if it doesn't work out, I'll have no regrets.
But like, I do want to highlight what I don't think you've mentioned, but it's not that you're not going on many dates because you're getting rejected. You just, I mean, often when we
Oh
talked,
yeah.
it was more like you haven't really, you're like, yeah, I haven't met anyone.
Oh right. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
one time that you asked someone out, she said yes. I mean,
Yeah.
she didn't want to date anyone.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's not like you called approach 100 people and they all said no.
I'm less afraid of having a criteria standards, I guess. That's part of the growth mindset, right? That I'm trying to cultivate, which is to not be afraid of taking someone like out. And that's what I'm doing with these apps too. I'm like left swiping more because, you know, I have more of an idea of what I like, and more importantly, not being afraid to act on that.
Mm-hmm. And you're not feeling like you have to get whatever you can get.
Yeah. Yeah. Or like desperately try and basically beg or anything like that too. Yeah.
Yeah, because like that doesn't really work very well. Yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to highlight that because like when I said like, oh yeah, like you don't have a girlfriend yet. It may sound like, oh, like I've been trying and going and getting rejected. In your case, like that was not the case. It's like the first person that you asked for a number because she got your attention, you got the number and you even went out and got to meet, and it turned out that you guys were not a good match. But it's not like you like keep getting different crushes over and over again and getting rejected. It's like you are living your life, you're socializing, you saw someone who got your attention, and you're like, oh, she's cool. got the number, went out, hung out, got to know her. Didn't work out. Cool, fine. Which is a big
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess I never really acknowledged how big of a difference that is, but yeah, it is tremendous difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you can say, I'm single, but I have been approaching everyone and I keep getting rejected. Or you can say, I'm single because I haven't really found many people that I find that I'm interested in. But when I am interested, the few times that I was able to act on it. And it went well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like someone listening might say like, well, it didn't go well because you're not dating. That's not really the point. The point of going well is like you did your thing. You went out, you got to know each other.
I mean, you can't guarantee that anything, right?
Yeah.
I knew that. I knew that much. I'm not delusional. Uh,
No, I'm just saying for like people watching.
yeah. That's what I mean. That's to them too. You can't guarantee success or whatever your definition of success. You just focus on the things that you can't control, right? Just very original idea that I'm spouting right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe sometimes it's worth taking that little first step that you're afraid to take. And yeah, there's always things to work on when it comes to yourself, right? Which could make it harder to take that first step. But yeah, I don't know. I'm glad I was able to do it, and I see myself continuing on this path, see wherever it leads.
Yeah. Which I think, I mean, I mentioned this to you before, like to me, the difference from when we started to where you're now in terms of like, and I noticed this like around that like 2 month mark, like you were like smiling and like I saw you like more energized and like much like happier. It was, to me, it was such a big change, really big change.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say to someone who is in the same place that you were like before we started working?
I think what helped me was I was kind of looking for the perfect fit. Like even when trying to look for like a social like activity to do, like I like to do hip hop when it comes to dancing, but so I was like, this is not really the type of dance that I want to do, contra dancing. It's not really what I like to do, It wasn't like the perfect fit. But I just told myself like, yeah, it's not exactly what I want, but it still has its own merits, I guess. It still has its own there's always a benefit to doing something that's not exactly what you want. I think you just gotta maybe try making some more compromises with what you want to do, and or else you'll be just stuck. Is what I'll say.
Yeah. And like you went to contra dancing, but like the people you met there, then you did other stuff with them.
Yeah.
So it's not like if I do contra dancing, then I'm stuck with it.
Yeah.
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 I love it. Awesome. Mrinal, thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it. And I'm sure that it's going to help a lot of people. Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you for having me, Alex.
Yeah. And everyone watching and listening, take care and continue playing.